Hey, what's going on, friends and family? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Mace, coming to you from Canada. I'm a rapper and producer. You can find my music, all streaming services, and all that good stuff. Checking out another Dutch cycling video, and I've mentioned on prior videos that I have been inspired. I've been inspired by the Dutch to start commuting to work, which I should be doing, and I should stop being a lazy person. I would save lots of money on gas, and I live 5.5 kilometers away from my work. The only downside to this, there's upsides and downsides. I was just making a stupid pun there. Silly. Upsides and downsides, meaning there's hills on the way there and hills on the way back. So I'm basically riding up a hill and then up a hill, and then pretty much a big downhill all the way to work. And then on the way home, I would have to go all the way up that hill, and then the vice versa. It's basically like this to get to work. Like, got to go up a big hill, and then I would go down, and then on the way home, I had to go up a big hill again. So maybe an e-bike is a good option. Let me know your guys' comments and thoughts about e-bikes in the comment section. Also, in inclement weather can be a bit difficult, but let's see if we get any techniques or ideas or tips from the Dutch and how they keep cycling when it's snowy out.
Finally, the Netherlands experienced some real winter weather.
I'd be out there playing hockey. That looks incredible. I love playing. We play every winter. As soon as we can find some ice, we'll play outdoor hockey.
About a decade without this kind of winter fun, people thoroughly enjoyed the perfect winter conditions. Skates were found in the back of closets, as were many sleighs. But the bicycles were not put away.
Hey, they're playing hockey.
They were used
I love
to
those
get
guys.
to the ice. Some even took their bike onto the ice.
Why not?
And where would you go with a hockey stick?
Nice.
Of course.
Hey, that guy's pretty
Apart
good.
from all the fun, there were also downsides to this.
How much hockey is played in the Netherlands anyways? Let me know in the comments. Is it a fairly popular sport?
Amount of snow. Local public transport became a bit more difficult, and for a few days, trains were almost all cancelled. Streets couldn't all be cleared right away, because it had snowed for almost 48 hours. Even though the city had sent out snow clearing teams while it still snowed, there was simply too much of it this time. However, people kept on cycling. For all sorts of reasons.
Got to get where you're going. Canadians, we often deal with like the stereotype of, you guys have horrible winters. It's so cold. Like, who would want to live there? Like, right? Like the bad weather thing. We have incredibly temperate climate. It snowed literally once this winter. Once.
Such as to go shopping, or to simply do their jobs.
That's an e-bike, right?
The city of 's-Hertogenbosch clears some footways, which is unusual in the Netherlands. Because the routes are done at different times, it sometimes meant the pedestrian space was
That poor car is stuck.
cleaned first. After a few days, most of the cycle routes were cleaned by brushing and salting them. This means that the safe cycling infrastructure remains safe, also in these winter conditions.
That's looking better.
You do have to take care around ridges
And
caused
slippery
by
spots.
clearing vehicles following different routes. And sometimes the wind brought back some snow, which
So when it comes to cycling, the Dutch just have it down, I feel like, and we've covered that on prior videos now. Having common courtesy for your fellow users of the roads, right? Not going too fast, being careful, being safe. That's why nobody wears helmets and nobody needs helmets, because the society is structured a little bit differently, and the people that are driving vehicles are also cyclists, so they understand and will adjust their driving accordingly to keep themselves and the bike safe, knowing that cyclists don't have any protection if they get hit, right?
Could also lead to very narrow paths. At some side streets, motor vehicles dragged snow back onto the cycleways. Minor streets are not cleaned at all. Cars do mess up those streets, which can make cycling a challenge. You really have to take care in this loose snow. Or else. On routes without car traffic, the snow stays perfect to cycle on. And where salt cannot be used, underheating can melt the snow.
Nice.
This bridge is perfectly clear of snow and ice,
It's
while
heated?
the plants will stay alive. The stairs are much safer after the underheating melted the snow. If you ever ask
You guys got underheating in public infrastructure?
yourself whether the Dutch cycle in the snow, the answer is resounding yes. Conditions may vary from here to there, but cycling continues no matter what.
There was a point where I was biking to work in the snow, and my colleagues thought I was crazy. This was a different job that was a little bit closer, and I'd be biking to work in like snowy conditions. My workmates would be like, "What? Are you crazy? You know how dangerous that is?" That's the difference between North Americans biking. Like, you get people worried about your safety which is fair because our drivers are really bad, and the infrastructure is not set up in such a way to keep cyclists safe. So I guess they had a point, maybe. I was wearing my helmet. We do have helmet laws here. The RCMP don't necessarily enforce them that much, but yeah. Let me know your guys' thoughts on cycling in the snow. Let me know down below for the algorithm, baby. All right. Peace. Cheers. See you on the next one.